Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video we're going over the price of Bitcoin. I'm also going to be reflecting back on a few of my videos that I posted over the last 3 weeks and kind of just reflecting on the things that I said and if I was right, if I was wrong, how things ended up turning out. So let's jump right into it. I've been saying for weeks now that things aren't looking good with Bitcoin, okay? We continuously head downwards and there's a zero sign of a momentum shift in this current market. But this is the thing with Bitcoin. Things can change instantly from one day to the next, okay? And something that I think you should definitely take into consideration is this. I had a friend text me today and she said, the markets look ugly. For the first time ever, I'm scared. And that made me reflect back on a moment when Bitcoin hit $3,500, I believe it was March of 2020. And for the first time ever, I was actually fearful for the long term of Bitcoin. And the whole COVID situation played a role in that too. So just to give you an idea, typically when you feel that way, it's probably the best time to buy. So the times that like the price of Bitcoin makes you sick to your stomach and you think it's all over and all of the benefits, it's those days where the price is so bad that it's so easy to get caught up and forget about the long-term benefits of Bitcoin and how it's going to completely change the world, like more massively than the internet has even changed the world. So just something to consider, right? If you're new to cryptocurrency, kind of think about that. Think about the times where you think it's all over, and those are probably some of the best days to buy. So keep track of those, and I think it's really interesting to kind of reflect back on that. So let's just jump into the charts. Let's see here. This is the daily chart on Bitcoin. We are on a red 5, can't talk today. And basically, I'm anticipating more room to the downside. We might see a little bit of a pop here and then probably more room to the downside. I think it's going to be a slow and ugly grind down. It's going to shake people out. It's going to test you. How strong are your hands? Do you have strong hands? Do you have weak hands? So I'm telling you right now, you're going to be tested. It's going to be a big, big test. The test is already in place, and the test is going to continue for the next few months. So daily chart looking super rough. You know, what did I say? I drew the symmetrical triangle. All right, I drew this triangle, and I don't draw triangles very often. I told you guys in my previous videos, I was like, okay, it's probably going to, however it breaks out, it's going to be violent, okay? Violent, volatile, whatever, kind of the same thing sometimes. But I didn't think Bitcoin was gonna get really above this 50 DMA here, which turned out to be the case. So from the time that I drew this triangle, let's see here, from a price range, I drew the triangle over in this range. So I'm not gonna cherry pick, I'm gonna go right in the middle of the candle. Bitcoin is down about 10% since then. So if you ended up, taking that trade, then it ended up being quite profitable for you. And so kind of want to reflect back here. 3 weeks ago, I made this video, why I sold Bitcoin. Got a lot of hate for it. Got a lot of views, but also got a lot of hate. People were mad. So 3 weeks ago, where was the price of Bitcoin? I think I started selling at the $34,000 range, okay? So clearly that wasn't the worst decision ever. It ended up being kind of the right one. Also, you can see here that I talked about time to sell Ethereum 2 days ago. Well, yeah, if you look at the Ethereum chart 2 days ago, you could have definitely scalped a little bit. If you would have shorted, you would have been in the profit. So the things that I'm saying are turning out to be accurate in the past few weeks. I'm not always going to be accurate, but what I've been saying lately has been accurate. And what I have also been saying has pissed people off because they're mad that they're losing money, okay? When I started making videos more consistently in April and May, I remember telling everyone, I said, hey, listen, you're all being really nice to me in the comment section. But can you please make a promise to me that when you start losing a ton of money, can you please continue to be nice to me? And that hasn't been the case. Some people are losing their asses, and it shows because you're taking it out on me in the comments. And I'm not really sure, because they're supposed to be adults, we're supposed to take responsibility for our actions. So just something to take into consideration. When I get a mean comment, all I think about is someone is losing and they're losing big. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. If you didn't see yesterday's video, I did a video on helium here with my friend 𝘱𝘱𝘭𝘭𝘺, and so he set up a helium miner for me, and you could watch that video and learn about the helium project, which is really quite interesting. So back over to the charts, okay? 12-hour chart here looks pretty rough. You know, we might see a little bit of a jump right here, but I would really only consider jumping back in on the 12-hour if I see this green moving average cross over the red, okay? And that doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Bitcoin looks extremely, extremely weak, okay? And I think we're going to see a little bit of, you know, strength here and there as Bitcoin continues to make lower highs and lower lows. But I'm also still anticipating that massive capitulation where a lot of people are going to be stopped out and people are going to be shaken to their core, okay? And the strong hands will survive, but the weak hands will not. The 4-hour chart looks a little bit okay here. I would be paying really close attention here to see if this green moving average starts crosses over on the red one. Might be a nice time to enter there. Take a look at the hourly. The hourly looks a little bit better, you know, than all of the other charts, so this is a good sign. Okay, and so we're going to talk about this 1 hour, and then we're going to jump back to the daily, so you can kind of see like how the whole picture is put together when you look at different time frames, right? So what I could see here is that Bitcoin made a higher low, right? It didn't go below the bottom of this candle on, you know, this group of candles here. And so what I'd be looking for next is Bitcoin to make a higher high, which would be Bitcoin going above the high of this particular candle, which is 31,950. Okay, a couple $100 away from there. So as you can see here, you know, Bitcoin is looking stronger on the daily chart, okay? But a ton of weakness, right? So the daily chart looks bad, really, really bad. But you could start seeing signs of, you know, Bitcoin potentially showing a little bit of strength by looking at the 1 hour, okay? So what I'm anticipating my house is definitely haunted. Like, definitely haunted. I literally went around and I blessed it yesterday, but clearly it's still haunted. Okay, literally things flying out of cabinets and no one's walked over there in the past like hour. Okay, can we carry on here? So I'm anticipating Bitcoin to make a lower high. So I'm anticipating at some point a little bit of strength, okay? And so maybe the 1 hour chart is showing us that we're gonna, you know, have a little bit of strength on Bitcoin, and on the daily chart that might translate to a lower high. Let's go and take a look at the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin here. Just printed, or actually it just switched, but it was about to print a green 9. So a little bit of sideways here on the 5-minute. It looks like Bitcoin may have topped out here on the 5-minute because it doesn't look like it's going to make a higher high. It looks like it just made a lower high. So Ethereum, in my previous video a couple days ago, I said I was considering selling Ethereum. Okay, I never sold Ethereum for a few reasons. Just to give you kind of an idea. When I have the first initial idea to sell a coin, I like to sit on it for a little bit. Sometimes it's a few hours, sometimes it's a few days. What typically happens is that by the time I make my decision, it's too late. Okay, the charts start changing. I am a little bit slow when it comes to decision making of selling crypto, but for good reason, right? And that's why when I sold Bitcoin, I woke up at literally like 2 or 3 in the morning and I sold it in my video that I made 3 weeks ago, was because I never feel the inclination to sell and to sell immediately, okay? It's something that I always want to think about a little bit more and continue watching the charts. So when I woke up and I had that deep urge to sell, I felt like I needed to listen to it because I don't feel that way very often, okay? Let's look at the daily chart here on Ethereum. Let's see, Ethereum looking extremely weak as well. I would probably, especially breaking below this moving average here. So I would anticipate to make a lower high and then more room to the downside. But the good news here on Ethereum is that it doesn't look like it's going to make a lower low. So that is a positive there. Let's go and look at the 12-hour chart, really not giving us much. We might see a little bit of a bump here, but you know, the moving average isn't getting close. You know, I don't see a ton of clarity on the 12-hour chart. 4-hour chart also trending downwards, not looking good. Not a ton of clarity. It's just trending downwards. There's no signs of a momentum shift, except once again, okay? So what do we see? On the Bitcoin chart, we saw on the 1 hour that a momentum shift, a momentum change, which could be translating and leading towards potentially some more upside overall. Right now we're seeing the same exact thing on Ethereum. The 1 hour chart is showing a bit strength here as we have just made a higher high in the last few hours. So, across the board, things are kind of flat in the crypto space in the last 24 hours. We see a couple things, there's not a ton of volatility right now. The volatility has gone down a bit in the past 24 hours. Everything's kind of flat or up 1% or down 1%, so nothing too crazy there. So yeah, if you want to check out some of my previous videos, let's see, I kind of give you a 3-year update here on life in Puerto Rico. I also made a video about my 8-month Celsius review, and if you want to check out my Celsius referral code, you can check that out in the link down below. So if you basically deposit $400 and that stays in there for 30 days, then after that you get $40 and I get $40 of Bitcoin, and it's a win-win for all of us. So a great opportunity to pick up some free crypto and also earn on the crypto that you have. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support, and as always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.